Steve, you've got a little chapter in your book where you're talking about you've built up the sex drive through stuff you take in through the eyes, so it's like a sumo wrestler that you're fighting. Talk about that.
Well, it's true that if you go out in the world today and you open yourself up to all these sexually stimulating images, you're going to build a sex drive that cannot be controlled. You cannot defeat it on your own. And one of the great things that Fred did, just on his own, he decided, I'm going to go on a bit of a starvation diet here. And I'm going to see what happens when I don't look at all this other stuff. And there's a great verse in the Bible where Job said that he was not going to look upon the other young women of the day and lust after them. And the other scripture I love in the Bible tells us to look straight forward, not to the right or to the left. Well, if you apply that to this and you stop looking at all this stuff, and rather than look at all the stuff out there, you're just going to focus on either your wife or maybe your image of what your wife to be is to become, all of a sudden you find this sex drive becomes more and more manageable. Now, you may not be perfect in the beginning, but all of a sudden you find yourself avoiding going toward those images. You find yourself feeling like you're in control of you're not an animal, you're in control of your manhood. And if you've been married, it's amazing how much more attractive your wife will become to you, how much more you will desire her, and also how much better you will function as a man carrying out manly duties in marriage. And you will enjoy sex more versus trying to generate something or manufacture something with a woman that just would never ever compete with all of the digitalized and hypersensitivized images out there that you're going to see. So starve your eyes, and all of a sudden that sumo wrestler starts to shrink, becomes an anorexic little wimp, and you can beat that, and you can be in control of it, but not lose the natural drive that you have for a woman.
Some guys that may be listening in high school and college may say, that applies to you guys, but I'm different. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to have those problems. It won't affect me that way. What do you say to them?
Well, it will. Whatever you are as a guy in college, a single guy in college, you're going to carry over into your marriage. You're not going to change that. But let me tell you what we've been doing. We've been going to colleges, and we've seen what's happened. Guys read these books, and they hear that there's an important freedom that comes when you start to talk to other guys about this. So maybe you've had a masturbation problem, you've kept it a secret all your life, and you kind of wonder, am I normal or not, or what are other guys doing? We've got groups in dorms meeting. We didn't set out to form these groups, but they're meeting and they're talking about character change. They're talking about guys that were these quiet loners, all of a sudden feeling connected to other guys because they're talking about the most secretive part of their lives and integrating it into who they are as men, and they're loving it. They're having great victory over it. One of the little groups said that they got together and they said, okay guys, we're going to get control of this. So everybody only masturbates on Tuesdays. And so they'd come back together on Wednesday. How'd everybody do? Great. Well, by saying that, it's almost like you take the power out of it. And pretty soon, Tuesday became like every other day. And these guys were so proud of themselves that they were able to honor women, talk to them, connect with them as human beings versus as images for their own self-gratification. And to me, that's the big change that starts with what Fred's done in the book from the very beginning, is he goes from taking a woman as an object, which he and I both did, to if you go through the whole series of books, you end up married in a committed, intimate relationship where a woman is honored for the heart and her essence, not just body parts and what she can do to give you pleasure.